Hello and welcome to Who We Viewed, an unofficial Doctor Who watch along podcast. On today's episode, we're going to be discussing the Fifth Doctor story, Earthshock. But before we get into that, my name is Cameron. I'm going to be one of your hosts on today's episode, and I am here with my co-host Ben. How you doing today, Ben?
Oh, pretty good.
All right, Ben. Let's make it a quick one. This is an important one. We got to get right into it.
Oh, yes. It's a big one.
Earthshock, season 19,
Dun dun.
serial number 6, Ben. It came out March 8th to the 16th, 1982
On BBC One.
on BBC One. Directed by Peter Grimrade, who previously before this did Legopolis and Kinda. No, sorry, he wrote no, yeah, he directed Legopolis, Kinda, and then
And Full Circle.
in First Circle, and then we'll go on to write for the show, and he does Time Flight, Modern Undead, and Planet of Fire. Written by Eric Saward. This is basically, I think, the first thing he wrote after getting the job as script editor. I was just watching the beginning of the making of doc. I wasn't able to watch full all of it, but the beginning part of it, they do mention that a script fell out. So then Eric Saward had to come in and write a script, and he decided to write a script about the Cybermen. Um, of course, this is the first time we've seen the Cybermen in a long time, Ben. For us, it's been almost a year.
Yeah.
For the audience at that time, this is 1982. Last time they saw them would have been what? When was Revenge of the Cybermen, Ben?
70, either 74 or 75. Because it was season 12,
It would have been 1975. So 7-year gap of no Cybermen. And they returned to the
which is
screens in this
a
episode.
new record. It feels like much shorter gap between Invasion and Revenge of the Cybermen. Or no.
It feels like a
I don't
longer
know.
gap because you go through a whole Doctor without Cybermen, so it
Yeah.
feels bigger. But from our standpoint, but from their standpoint, it's like 7 years is a long ass time for those Cybermen, man.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy that like Revenge of the Cybermen, they must have the production team must have thought it was that bad that they decided not to cast in this cow that was the second biggest monster.
Is it a cow?
Eh,
Was it the I mean, it was very recurring in the second Doctor era. I don't really have a sense of, like, how popular they were.
they were pop.
Obviously,
They were the second Daleks to the Daleks, of course.
yeah. Not as big as the Daleks by a long shot, of course, but
But like it were popular enough that they just kept on having Cyberman stories in the '60s, Pac Troughton stories.
yeah,
Like his whole era is basically, "Oh, the Cybermen are back. Oh, the Cybermen are back."
pretty much.
But yeah, it's pretty big. Of course, the big thing about this before we get into the episode is that this wasn't at all advertised as a
Mhm.
Cybermen story. It was advertised as just Earthshock. And John Nathan Turner really did a good job of making it not be aware. So he didn't tell anyone. He also like they used to be like observation deck that you were able to look at like what how the filming inside BBC Center. That was had like a black cloth over it, so you couldn't see inside of it, and the monitor was dead.
Mm.
So if you went in there looking to see what's Doctor Who filming, you weren't even able to see the surprise of the Cybermen.
Uh,
Also
I did
helps that
see,
this is mostly all studio stuff as well, so it's not like there's anything that could have leaked.
yeah, and I did see he had the opportunity to have the Cybermen on a Radio Times cover,
Yeah.
and he turned it down because he wanted to keep it a surprise.
Which is that's a big thing in radio time. So like the him not doing that is kind of insane. And kind of in some ways you would think that's a bad producing instinct, but it it's a pretty smart idea just because it's gonna get buzz. It's gonna get more people talking about it because you're hearing you're gonna get more people watching it from word of buzz than just like, oh, it's on the cover. Or, oh, it's a cover on a magazine.
Yeah, I wonder if looking at the viewing figures, if there was an uptick at all.
So the second episode did not have an uptick. It went down zero point 0.3 million viewers. But remember, because they're doing it in two chunks, that next week it grew in viewing figures. So it did work. It just took that week for people to be like, "Oh my god, the Cyberman's back." They weren't cooking up the next day. Which honestly, the story kind of works if you started watching it in part 2, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like,
because like,
because
the
that's
first
when the
part
Cybermen
is
are
just,
introduced.
in the cave
Yeah,
mostly, and then you're, like, just getting to the ship. Cybermen are just introduced. Part 1 kinda stands it's got the android mini
yeah,
villain thing, and then we transition to in this, a Cybermen story.
yeah,
Almost like a prologue, and then it's jumps
yeah.
into it.
Of course, this is a highly rated story in the fandom. Of course, also being known for being the death of a companion, Ben. But did you get that spoiled, Ben?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. What a shame. What a shame. Because imagine you watching this and be like, "Oh my god, they killed him."
My parents were both I watched Doctor Who with my family. My parents both were not spoiled. I
Mm.
My father specifically asked me, and I told him, "Yes, this is Adric's last story." But because when he was talking about, "I wanna go home," he's like, "Oh, is that it? Oh, okay." But they did not expect him to explode.
Not just explode, Ben. He is what kills the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
But anyways, before we can get into that, Ben, I just want to say first my history with the story because I have seen this before.
Okay.
This is a story that I watched for the first time. I mentioned this before, but BBC America really showed Classic Doctor Who. It was not popular at all to be shown Classic Doctor Who to be shown on American TV. In the 2000s. The first time BBC America did it in like my history was for the 50th anniversary. So they did this series each month leading up to the 50th anniversary. They showed one doctor, a classic Doctor Who story from one doctor. So like the first one was the Aztec, second was Doom and Cybermen, third I believe was Spearhead, fourth I think it was Genesis, so I just skipped it, and then this one was the fifth Doctor's one, which is Earthshock, which makes sense. It was either going to be Earthshock or Caves, and this has the Cybermen. I remember liking it as a kid. A little bit confused by it. I rewatched it when the Blu-ray came out. Loved it. A little bit confused. I watched it again. Loved it. I'm still like, oh, there's some things in the story where it's a little bit confusing. Am I alone, Ben?
Uh, I don't know, maybe you could clarify what you mean
So
by
I
confusing,
guess we're
like,
already getting into
'cause
we're getting
I
into what we thought of it because
yeah,
like
I agree
basically
it isn't, like there is a little bit more friction in this
yeah,
story, just in terms of it's not as slick, if that makes sense, as I thought it
yeah.
would be. There is some but what do you mean?
So like basically my big problem is one the like I still have an issue. I maybe just might be paying attention enough when this happens, but the cave stuff of what the fuck does the cave stuff have to do with the Cybermen and the actual story?
What do you mean?
What does the cave stuff have to do with the Cybermen? Like what? How does that have to
The
do with
the bomb they
yeah
planted because they wanted to blow up the Earth.
in the
Uh,
cave?
yeah, or
Ah,
somehow that cave was, like, structurally significant or something.
I don't know.
They're gonna
I
blow it up to stop the conference, but the doctor stopped him. Backup plan, drive the freighter
I
into
always
the
thought that that
planet.
was a little bit like unclear. I think they only mentioned it a little bit. And then all of a sudden it's just like, oh no, we're gonna follow this Cybermen. We're on this ship, and that just basically becomes the story at that point.
Yeah. It's not perfect, for
And then
sure.
the other thing that always a little confused me, I picked it up more this time around because I was paying attention to it, is just the whole how the fuck does it go back in time, the ship, at the end of the story, because of course they it's like future.
Cybermen tech.
No, it's not Cyberman Tech, it's the isn't it the TARDIS?
Or no, the TARDIS is gone at this it's like
Well, the TARDIS is, like, locked on it.
yeah, that's incidental. There's, like, this Cybermen tech
Mhm.
that's, like, controlling the ship, which
Yes.
has the 3 logic puzzles that Adric needs to
Yes, no, I
break,
got that.
and
But, like, the cyber we never have
somehow
established.
this Cybermen technology allows time travel or something, and so they're like, "Okay, let's see what we can do." They press a button, they start spiraling backwards in time.
But, like, you know what I mean, though, is that that's an aspect of the story where I'm like, this is not clearly established.
Yeah.
It's also something that's the Daleks have established that they have time control powers. The Cybermen, we have never established that they had time control of time, at least in my memory.
Uh, no, I don't think they have.
So that's
Not
just
at this point.
it's always been like that stuff has always that those 2 points have been always kind of confusing. Maybe it's just because I'm not paying attention fully to the story, but also the story doesn't really like repeat itself just because one of the things that's good about the story is the propulsion of the story. It's very well paced. It's
Yes.
constantly like this next thing, the next thing, the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. Even though there's some points where I'm like, I wish it kind of slow down a little bit more. But once we get to like the good stuff, which I would say is like once we're on the like pot 3 and pot 4, especially pot 4 is a really good fucking story.
Yeah.
Like that fourth pot is just like honestly, I wish that there was a version of the story that was 5 pots where the fourth pot is split up between 2 stories. That you get one is the Doctor and the Cybermen on the ship, and then the second then the other pot is like when the Doctor and the Cybermen are on the TARDIS and we're getting like the more of the third act stuff.
Yeah.
I think you could have easily made that to be 2 separate pots. It's kind of there's a lot of stuff that happens in that last 25 minutes of the story.
Yeah, I mean, the 4th one is where they start careening towards Earth uncontrollably, and then everything else happens.
That's when the Doctor and the Cybermen actually meet. It takes all the way to pot 4 because that's the cliffhanger for pot 3.
Oh, I guess it is. For some reason, I thought that happened earlier, but damn, yeah, then that 4th part, um, is really good then.
It's very
'Cause that
it's
stuff where the Doctor and the cyber leader
yeah.
meet and Tegan she's protecting Tegan, that stuff is great.
Oh no, it's very good and again very tense. You feel the stakes, which is another thing that the story does really well is that it has stakes and like you feel like it has propulsion and you also know what is the threat. Like what are they working against?
Yeah. It's definitely there's a version of the story where Tegan dies. Like, no one
Yeah,
has plot armor. It's tense.
yeah. Anyways, Ben, this has kind of been jumbled. Like we haven't gone through like a straight like what we usually do. But Ben, what did you think of Earthshock?
Uh, I thought it was very good. I think my expectations might have been a little bit too high,
Yeah.
just, like, going into it knowing, like, this is one of the best of his era. But, I mean, it is very good. It's very serious. I think all the performances are pretty good.
Yes.
Man, I just wanna jump right to Adric.
No, no, let's save Adric for later. Let's jump into the
Uh,
Cybermen
yeah, okay.
because the Cybermen. This is again first time we've seen them in a long while. And this is the first real big reinvention of them.
Yeah,
I guess
I'm
like you can
think
kind of say that's moon based and like Mondasian are very much different from the Pat Troughton Cybermen, if you know what I mean.
yes. Are
So
you
like
familiar have you seen all of the 2nd Doctor Cybermen
I
stories?
haven't seen moon base and I haven't seen Whale in Space.
Gotcha. Well, you've seen the big ones then, yeah, so I think this is way better than Revenge of the Cybermen
Oh
in
yeah.
all aspects. Just like their voices and their design.
But they
It's
also are, like,
still
actually intimidating that they weren't in Revenge of the Cybermen.
oh, yeah. Revenge of the Cybermen, they're like comedy,
Yeah, it's a joke.
but these it's it's definitely more intimidating. My one big flaw with them is I think still the voices. Like
See,
it's
alright,
better
hey,
than Revenge,
yeah,
but it's still too human sounding.
okay, here's my thing, right? I I hate it when the Cybermen are too emotional, when they're a little bit more too human, but the power of David Banks. David Banks is so goddamn good, dude. I love him so much as the cyber leader. The just like
Yeah,
the way he can say any line in that suit and just is excellent. It's like, oh fuck yeah. We
yeah,
meet again, Doctor. Like it makes me just have a smile on my face going, this he knows what to do, you know?
yeah. Uh, I want a little bit more modulation. Like
Yeah.
just earlier, I was going back. There's a YouTube video saying evolution of Cybermen voices, and Mondasian Cybermen have still not been topped. IMO. But even like in Moonbase, which is like heavy modulation, but there's still a little bit of I think you need to strike the balance of machine and human.
Yeah.
And I think this is still a little bit too human for me.
Yes, it is, but the performances are very good in it.
Yes, agreed.
It's not like Revenge of the Cybermen when, like, it's just the performances are bad and the modulation is bad, and you're just like, "What am I watching?"
Yeah.
Here, it's like, no, David Banks is giving it his all in that
Oh,
role.
absolutely. Yeah. He's great.
I just wanna give a shout out also to, like, the design of these Cybermen. I love Earthshock Cybermen design. I love how, like, these guys, I don't know what's the sizes of the men, but they're big guys. They especially David Banks. He's a tall dude. Which
Yeah.
again brings back that thing of like where the Revenge of the Cybermen stuff, they're not really menacing in that story, but just their physical presence in the story does give you a bit of like, oh no, there's something to be scary about that.
Oh, yeah. They're big and wide. Maybe even slightly too chunky for my liking, but, compared to, like, Revenge, where they're in tracksuits with pipes taped to them,
Yeah.
much better.
And I like the little addition that they have of like their jaw is like
Yeah.
has like plastic, so you can see like they
You
must have
see the
painted
human in it.
over like their chins to be silver, so you see a little bit of the human still in them, which I think is great. Gives it that still that feeling that I wish that we got more in some of the more modern Cyberman designs. Of like, no, these are actually humans at the end of the day. These are just
Yeah.
upgraded humans, where sometimes the Cybermen are a little bit too robotic, and that's one thing that I wish the story doesn't really have this. There is two types of Cybermen stories. There is the Cybermen stories where they are just robots, army, and then there's the other one where it's like, no, we're gonna play with the idea that they are like these. We're gonna play
The
more
body
on the
horror.
zombie body horror aspect of the Cybermen, and that stuff has always been more interesting to I think a lot of the fandom, but rarely explored just because of how dark it is. It's only really explored in World Enough in Time, and then also in Big Finish. But
Yeah.
and this doesn't have any of that. It doesn't have any moments where the Cybermen do not care about converting anyone in this story,
Yeah.
which is kind of a
And
shame.
they have another, like Revenge, they have a human collaborator,
Yeah.
though they betray him much quicker this
But, like,
time.
I love how much they just throw him on the bus very quickly in this one. But I still need to watch, sorry, listen to the David Banks was in a Big Finish. He did a Big Finish with Colin Baker. I mean, still need to listen to it. I don't know if you noticed, he wrote a Cybermen new version book.
The actor did?
Yeah, David Banks. It's like Ice Stone or Ice Age, something like that. What's the name of it?
Iceberg.
Iceberg, okay. I was close. That has a great cover of, like, the Cybermen hands with, like, the woman in the ice. I think it's Benny Summerfield, but it could've been it could be somebody else.
Uh, Ruby Duval,
Right, somebody else. But anyways,
who's only here.
but yeah, is there anything more to say about the Cybermen? They're great in the story, even though that they're a little bit
Absolutely.
not they're not like the things that I would say, like, if I had to put, like, a bullet point list of what I love about the Cybermen, what the Cybermen do in the story, I wouldn't really put down, but they still work.
Yeah. What did you think of we get a kind of like
A clip show?
yeah, yeah. I guess you could call it that. Where they have this moment of discovering, "Oh, that's the doctor." And then they play clips of um Tomb, Revenge, and 10th Planet of each of the Doctors and an iconic moment of, uh what did you think of that?
It's big for the show, right? Like, we got, like, pictures before, but, like, we never got, like, actual clips from the show referenced in the show. It's kind of the start of the end of the show being, like, not referential about the past. Well, I guess you can kinda say it's the first time they do this is Logopolis with all the companions going, "Doctor!" But, this is much more expanded, this one, this time around, of course.
Yeah.
I'm fine with the in this case. I don't like it when there's a lot of times in the new series where that becomes like a superpower of like, oh, the doctor's gonna do all of his like his mind and powers and stuff, and he's gonna all of his expanse is gonna be what solves the day. And then they play the clip show, and it's like, no, don't give me that. It's fine here when it's like it's very small. It's not like I'm constantly
Oh,
thinking,
yeah.
how the hell did they get these clips?
Yeah, it's like a
Why
minute.
are they playing this?
It's mostly just, like, a cool thing to see William Hartnell again.
But especially for the people of this time period,
Yeah.
that you don't have reruns. You don't have the VHSs, I don't believe yet.
Yeah. There's people that were watching it now who didn't know William Hartnell or Patrick Troughton.
Yeah, so there must have been their minds must have been blown, and then there you have those hardcore fans that were watching it since then and going, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
So it's fine. It doesn't take me out of the story, you know? Where there's a version of it where it does.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, "Oh god, another clip show." But yeah, let's talk about one of my favorite aspects of this story, then, which is the Captain Briggs, played by Beryl Reed,
Is she one of
which
your
is
favorite aspects?
which is what happens if your grandmother is a spaceship captain. One of those things where you're like, is this miscast? But she does such a good job in that role.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy her this story?
Sure, yeah.
You're
It
not as
isn't the
big as a
most
fan of her than
noteworthy
me.
thing in this episode, I would say, but I thought she was good.
I think she gives a great performance this episode, and it's just one of those things where it's a JNT decision where you go like, is this the right move? But she pulls it off. That you can tell that she like you can buy that she commands this ship, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But she's a soap woman
She's a
that's like
she's a
totally just not
hardened.
what she usually is casted as, you know.
Oh, yeah, I could see her being a, um, Coronation Street whatever.
You know, you could picture her in Black Orchid last week.
Yeah, playing, a grandmotherly noble whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, and this I don't know. There's not too much to say about the other people on that ship. There's just like you got the one guy that portrays him. That's like
Yeah.
he's there, and then he just kind of dies, and you're like, thank God he's dead. And then you have the other woman that's kind of like more of the scientific advisor type role.
Or yeah. The number 1, I think, would be,
Yeah.
she's like the first officer.
Anything to say about like the army men that we got on the inside the cave and then joins the story? Of
Not
course,
all that
another you
much.
mentioned it in Kinda of how this doctor is very much like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
come
come in the
on in.
TARDIS with me." And this is a story where he lets all these people inside the TARDIS, lets a fucking Cybermen inside the TARDIS.
Yeah. Alright, Cam. Before we get to Adric, let's talk about the other companions.
Okay.
What did you think of Tegan this episode?
Tegan is very good. Tegan
Agreed.
is like in it in the action. She's fighting those Cybermen. She does a very good job. She very
Yes.
much fits that second companion spot very well. This story, where she has her own B plot, and when we cut back to her, you are as invested in the B plot as you are with the A plot.
Oh, yeah. She a very active role in the plot.
Also, this is the first time we've ever seen her really take this much control of herself, basically.
Yeah, she's not gonna stay behind in the TARDIS. She's gonna go
No,
out there.
she's gonna fight. She's gonna be a little
Yeah.
fighter.
And she takes off the stewardess outfit.
Yes, she does. How sad were you, Ben?
Not that sad.
Just
I
wait till
kinda
next
miss,
week.
um, having companion outfits change. Everyone kinda has their uniform.
Yeah,
Like, Adric has the same shirt, pants, and star on for his entire career.
yeah, but that's very much like I think that's very much in the JNT sensibilities.
Like Nyssa lost her crown on Castrovalva, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Like, there's something about it that's kinda comic booky, you know?
Yeah. I guess it makes their looks more iconic versus
Yeah,
like there's no iconic Sarah Jane look
yeah.
that is just emblematic of her as a whole.
Yeah, even, like, Joe Grant, who has a lot of, like, great costumes, is not one that I'm like, "That's the one."
Yeah. Even like Ramana too has a new outfit every single story, I
Yeah.
think.
But I feel like for her, I would say probably the Destiny of the Dalek look.
Yeah.
That one's just so
Home
good.
Ryan right out of the gate. Perfect
Yeah,
compliment to Tom.
yeah. If J&T produced season 17, that would have been her outfit for every episode.
Yes. But not talking about that.
Yeah.
What about Nissa? She doesn't really do
No,
anything
she
here.
doesn't do anything in the story. She is in that companion role of, "All right, we have 3 companions. We don't know what to do with the 3rd one. Guess what? You're stuck in the TARDIS this episode."
We gotta wait for the doctor. We keep
Yeah.
cutting back to her, and she's still just like, I don't
Hey,
know, guys.
she's got a friend. She's got that friend that all her friends died in the cave, and and then they're trauma bonding in the TARDIS.
I guess. I don't know. Nissa, like, I've been endeared to Tegan. I still haven't. I'm not really attached to Nissa that much.
Next season, Ben, that's gonna be the make or break. When she has much more of a role because Adric's gone, she's gonna be the only smart companion left. But let's see. Let's give her a chance, Ben.
Fingers crossed.
Let's see if she can
Like,
get to the plate, hit
I
the home
thought
run.
she was good in Castrovalva, and
Yeah,
that's about it.
yeah. But also, kind of not her fault because she wasn't written in a lot of these stories.
True. She was her being writ. She was written on last minute, and she was gonna be written off, and then was kept on last minute. They keep trying to get rid of her, and she keeps staying.
All
Oh, I
right, Ben.
guess we'll see.
It's time. Adric, how did you feel about Adric's departure and Adric this episode? Actually, no. Let's save Adric's departure for the end of the conversation. Let's just talk. What do you think of Adric this episode? Let's start from the beginning of like, what did you think of like him wanting to go back to East Base?
I think this whole episode, we kind of have both aspects of this character, where he's a little bitch,
Yeah.
but also he can be smart and kind and caring.
Hmm.
Um, and he starts off annoying. Like you're him and the doctor are both being kind of annoying at the start here, and then the scene where they make up, I think, is really good.
I do love
Really
that line when he's like, would it be really that hard?" He's like, "Do you think I would be making this type of fuss if it wasn't?" Like,
side tangent. Doctor, this fifth Doctor, he's a lot more like
emotional.
volatile and than I would have expected going
Yeah.
in. Like he fights with his companions, saying like
Yeah.
gets very raises his voice at his friends a lot
But I think that's
this
just
season.
because he is much more of a human doctor, and he has like these big emotions. He has these big emotions, unlike Tom, that just has like the one or two emotions. He's either happy or he's upset, or he's serious. Like there's not a lot of ranges in Tom's
I
doctor,
mean, and when Tom has that rage that he sometimes does, it isn't ever directed at his friends,
except for K9.
except for K9. K9 is a exception. Um,
No, I really I like that scene of Adric wanting to go home and thinking that, oh my god, me getting on this TARDIS was actually a mistake, and I want to go back home, but he can't because it's East Base.
yeah, it's a
It is
whole
very funny
other
when he's like, "I can find somebody
universe.
else to take me." It's like, who the fuck else are you gonna be able to get that has a machine that's able to get to end space or
The
sorry, E space?
Master.
Like, oh yeah, like he's either, if he goes to the master, he's just gonna get locked up in one of his bondage, like whatever the fuck that was in Castrovalva.
But yeah, he was pretty good this episode, I would say,
Yeah, no,
as a
he is good
whole.
this episode.
Can we talk about the end?
Yeah. So, what did you think of the end? Because of course he goes out trying to save the day, but then doesn't.
Through no fault of his own.
No.
Or in in a sense, he does save the day because it's his gold star that
Yeah.
his badge of excellence for math. Without that, the doctor would have died
Which is very clever. And like it's like that last image is also a very good image of the broken star badge
with no
being the
music.
correct, yeah, with no music. And it's such a and that, again, that's why it's like you could imagine where this is a five-parter, because you could imagine like I would have liked a little bit more minutes after that. Because
Yeah,
it's really much like he dies, the doctor and Nessa and Tegan react, and then credits.
yeah. A couple more minutes to really sit with that would have been good.
Which I think
But
that, doing it that way, I was listening to the JNT audiobook that I mentioned that I got a couple episodes back. I listened to the Earthshock portion of that, and he says in that he got a lot of calls from upset, of mothers and fathers being like, "You don't understand, my kid is, like, so upset. He thinks that Adric is actually a real person that died." And, like, I think that honestly, the way this ended, it's so, like it's just like, "Nope, he's dead." It's so,
that's
like,
it.
cold.
Yeah.
They like, I could imagine a child actually getting really upset at that, especially if they related to Adric and saw themselves as
Oh,
an Adric and then
yeah.
being like, "Oh my god, he's dead."
It's dark for sure.
And this is
And
the spoilers, Ben, this is the last time that a companion dies, basically. The show never does this again, and this is the biggest example of it. Of course, we had, like, Sarah Kingdom died,
Katarina.
but,
But
like
both of those are people we only know for, like, 5 parts.
this is one that it's much bigger deal.
Yeah. And as much shit we've talked about Adric, as much as, like, 80% of the time I hate him,
Yeah.
I was still and also knowing that he does die, I still found those last 5 minutes to be, emotionally affect me. I
Oh,
was
yeah.
sad that he died.
Yeah.
You
Which
feel the weight of it.
that's one of the miracles that Earthshock does, is that it makes you actually feel bad that Adric's dead. It's very much like I don't know how familiar you are with, the death of, Jason Todd, which is the second Robin, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's very similar. I think it would have been around death of Jason Todd, when was that? I think that could have been '80s, but it could have been also late '70s.
88.
Death in the Family was '88, so way after this, but it's very much similar where they took this teenage character that the fandom kind of hated, and then they killed him in a
Yeah.
really dark way. Like, I find that very interesting that the 2 IPs did something really big with that.
DC just ripped off Doctor Who.
No, that's what I'm excited for, the Red Hood equivalent of Adric. He comes back and wants to kill the Doctor. Do you think Matthew Waterhouse, could, pull that performance off?
I mean, maybe. I have to believe he's a better actor now than he was when he was, like, 19.
Maybe Russell, maybe that's your 2026 Christmas special.
Would the fandom celebrate Adric's return?
I don't think so. I think even the fandom would be like, "Fucking hell, he's back." But also, I love the idea that this old Matthew Waterhouse would still act the same exact way as teenage Adric.
Yeah, those last, I would say, like, 5 to 8 minutes, I think. So good.
No, Ben, it's
With,
the last 25, it's the last part is just like, again,
I know,
that's
but, like,
the Cybermen and Fit Doctor stuff is really strong stuff.
yeah, like, when he's fighting the Cybermen in the TARDIS,
Yeah, but I would just
and
before we move on from there, I just wanna say, like, I think that moment is the best that Peter Davis has been the Doctor from what we have watched him. That's the best he's been all of season 19.
yes, I would agree.
That is when it's like, no, this is one, it's different from what we've seen from other Doctors. He's a little bit more playing this emotional, and you can tell that there is like and like in like there's other times in the story where his doctor being out of breath and like failing the stakes really helps the story out. Where I don't know if other doctors like Pertwee or Tom would be as good at this story in particular, if you know what I mean by that.
Yeah,
Because there is a bit of the stakes are his performance being like he feels like he is overwhelmed in this story.
Yeah,
Peter Davison's
he's less in
performance.
control than I feel
Yes.
like Tom or John would be.
Yes. I think he does a really good job at that this story. And he does that for like Kaiser and Giovanni too. And that's where I feel like the Fifth Doctor's at his best.
When he has to kinda play defensively.
Yeah, or when he's like, "Oh God, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna get myself out of this one?" Like, he's kind of like he does not know how he's gonna get himself out of this one. This story, which again, why this story has such great stakes to it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's
there's those
absolutely
moments
the
where
best
like
it's been.
the cyber leader threatens like killing Tegan, and you really feel that. You think that like there's a chance, even though we know that there's no chance, but like there could be.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't sure exactly when Adric was gonna die. I thought, you know, there was a chance, like, he would jump in front of Tegan or something, have that kinda self-sacrifice.
Mm. But no, he just kills the dinosaurs, Ben. Another one of those moments we talked about in Visitation of Doctor Who inserts itself into history. That nope, it wasn't a meteorite. It was a
Yeah.
spaceship that Adric was in.
I did think in part 1 where they were, like, staring at a fossil and going on seemingly a tangent about, "Oh, the dinosaurs, they died out. They think it was a meteor, but who knows?" Seemed kinda random at the time
Yeah,
before, like, I kinda tuned it out till we loop back around to it at the end there.
yeah. But no, it's a very good story, Ben.
It is
I don't know
very
if we're
good.
giving it the justice that it deserves,
I feel like this is good.
but it's one of those moments where you go like, no, Eric Sayward was the right choice to be script editor.
Yeah.
He understands how to make a good Doctor Who episode. We will see now for the next couple of seasons how well he is at script editor. And when he is given all the keys to the toolbox, I'm sorry, I don't that's not the correct expression, but I'm just gonna go with it.
Yep.
How he does. Because there's some good stuff in there. I really enjoyed I like his Dalek stories. Attack of the Cybermen, I like the first part of Attack of the Cybermen, but we'll see how I feel about it when we get there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, Ben. What's the best and worst special effect this story?
Best, I
Oh,
think it's I mean, I as always, what special effects is ambiguous. Because like, I think the best would be the Cybermen,
yeah.
like, outfits. Worst, I thought the sets were a little weak, a little bit boring.
I
Not
will
like,
before we
it
get
fits the story, but
too much into worst. I just want to say I think my favorite special effect is that Cyberman that's halfway through the door. I love
oh,
that.
the, like, what's the Star Wars Han Solo Corbomite? Cor car what is
Carbonite.
Carbonite. That kind of vibes.
Yeah. Also, like I think that they do a good job with some of the Cybermen explosions this episode. When like their gun goes off and like the things spark out of them, like that does a really good job.
Oh, we didn't even talk about, the TARDIS part of the ending. I thought it was noteworthy that final struggle where the Doctor has to shoot the Cyber Leader, like, 10
Yeah,
times, and he lets out, like, these guttural screams that sound half robotic, half human.
yeah. Which again, also one of those times where the Doctor uses a gun, which he never does in New Who, but in Classic Who, there's been multiple cases where the Doctor uses a gun.
Yeah. I mean, Tom, I could make a list. He probably used guns, like, a dozen times.
Tom doesn't use a science fiction gun; he just uses a gun.
It's science fiction guns too.
But also,
He had,
there's been
like,
multiple
the
times
ultimate weapon in the universe in Invasion of Time.
he snapped some guy's neck also. If we don't fucking remember that one.
Yeah. In, Seeds of Doom. He had a gun there too, though he didn't fire it. Um, what do you think is the worst special effect to hard go back to that?
Maybe the actual like model of the ship.
Yeah, seeing it explode or and, like, disappear is a little underwhelming.
Because like I am one like you said that the sometimes the insides of the ship. I disagree. I think they do a pretty good job. Especially the stuff
It's
that's
just kinda
more
boring, I thought.
of the
Gray ships
I
and
disagree.
gray caves.
I wouldn't disagree with you,
Although
but
I
I
thought
would
the, like,
say the lighting is very good. The story of like the when they're
yeah,
actually inside the I don't know what you would call it, but like the cargo holds of the ship. It's very darkly lit, and I think that does a really good job of
yeah,
conveying it instead of like you could imagine there's a worse lit version of this where it's brightly lit.
mhm. Yeah, and I thought the cargo hold itself looked alright. There's a good sense of scale.
But I think that the actual like control deck we've seen a lot worse.
Yeah. Oh, what about, I don't know if it's best or worse, but the Cybermen, awakening and ripping the cellophane off
But
themselves.
see, there's a charm to
Reminiscent
that.
of Tomb.
Yeah,
Very
yeah, it is
intentionally reminiscent
reminiscent
to
of Tomb.
Tomb, I believe.
There's a charm to it, Ben. There's a charm also to Tomb. Tomb doesn't look great, but also there's a charm to it.
Yeah.
I always love that meme. I probably sent to you when you watch Tomb of the Crab coming out, and it's the Cyberman Tomb of the Cyberman music of the crab coming out of like the plastic container.
Doesn't sound familiar.
But I love that video so much.
If
How to make the story better?
yeah,
We already talked about it. I think bipods. I think this could have been a great five-potter.
yeah. This could be a good this would have been a good season finale, like,
Yeah.
could this have been if we were still in that era? I don't think J&T likes him, of, like, a season finale six-parter.
Yes, I think
Could
this could
this
do
have
it.
worked?
I think six-potter would be stretching it. I think you would have to have more stuff in the caves, but I think that overall though, I think this is a five-potter story. I think that this could have been a great five-potter.
But then what gets the extra episode to be the mandated episode order? Is Black Orchid a three-parter?
Black Orchid's a one-potter. Or Fort of Doomsday is a three-potter.
Oh,
Fort of
yeah,
Doomsday
I
could have
guess
been a
if you get an
three-potter.
extra, what do we take a part away from?
Fort of Doomsday
We
could
can cut a 4 to Doomsday part, yeah, easy.
like cut a middle section of part of it. I don't think anyone would notice.
Yeah. Well, should we talk about cliffhangers?
Yeah, let's talk about cliffhangers, man. What's the cliffhangers?
Number 1, the androids, focus on the doctor, and we cut to the Cybermen watching, and they say, "Destroy them!" So
Destroy them at once.
yes. So Cybermen reveal 2.
No, but like one of the most iconic cliffhangers of all of classic Doctor Who.
Yeah, absolutely. 2, the doctor and Adric find dead bodies in the cargo hold, and they turn around to find the, like, security chief guy saying, "On this ship, we execute murderers."
Yeah, in a pretty flamboyant way.
3, the Cybermen army awakens.
Ooh. I think if I was watching it, I think there is a mistake that the front Cyberman is the cyber leader. Yeah, no, I don't think there is. The front Cyberman is the cyber leader. Did you notice that?
Uh, I did not. It
But
has,
of
like, the
course,
black handlebars.
yeah, which of course the cyber leaders and the main deck at this point, so it shouldn't have the black handlebars. So how dare they make that mistake?
Shoot, I just spoiled myself on something.
What do you get spoiled on?
I was looking ahead at season 20 at the episodes that are part of that, and the season 20 wiki page said Arc of Infinity first appearance of Omega until 2025. So
Ah,
that
you
probably is in Reality War or
You
something.
you 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 got saved that long. We're gonna have to probably talk about at some point in reality war. So, I mean, sorry, I would hope we
I
have to talk about a reality war, but we're gonna have to talk about an Akafrenia anyways.
I mean, I know he's there now. I don't want to know anymore. I still want to stay as
Oh
unspoiled
yeah.
as possible for the new series.
Oh yeah. But you know what I mean. We can say that we can now say that Omega does return again. Sadly.
Gotcha. Is it just this is going very off topic. Does he look like his Arc of Infinity appearance or his Three Doctors appearance or neither?
Neither.
What
You
does
would
he
never
look
guess
like?
you Ben, I bet you probably seen the image of it, you would never guess it's Omega.
Now, do I look at it or do I not?
You're gonna get spoiled it, so just look at it, Ben. Because you saw Sutek's version, right?
I think.
It's worse than Sutek's. Because at least Sutek, it's like, okay, it's
Oh,
kind of
it's
like
like a
Sutek.
big
It's a big
mummy
baby.
thing. It's a big mummy baby.
Which doesn't that scream Omega?
No.
It's so fucking weird. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it, Ben. Uh,
Is this a
anyways,
part of the rant?
oh no, this was part of the rant, Ben. You're gonna when we get to reality war 5 years from now, you're gonna be able to rewatch the rant. Not rewatch the watch the first time the rant. You're gonna
Yeah.
go, wow, he's finally talking about it.
Well. Yeah, and then the fourth cliffhanger is Adric explodes.
Boom. Best one's part one, of course. It's iconic.
All right. So, yeah, best one is number 1,
Yeah.
obviously. So, is it time cam?
Okay.
Well, how would you rate this episode?
Uh,
How would you rate Earthshock?
it is a 9, a solid 9. It's great, even amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 9.2 for an average of 9.1.
Okay, Ben. Where does it rank in the polls?
Doctor Who magazine does a poll every decade or so since the 90s, most recently in 2023. Or I guess I can shorten this. It is always 2023, 2014, 2009, and 1998. It was ranked second out of 20. Right below the Caves of Androzani and right above the Five Doctors. So,
And in
ba-
2014, it ranked number 24 above Tomb of the Cybermen. I mean, sorry, Tomb of the Cybermen's above it. Below it is the Five Doctors.
gotcha. Is Tomb better than this? Maybe?
Tomb's better than this.
Yeah.
Not like I. Both are great stories. Both are top tier Cybermen stories.
What's the one that's two below it for fun?
Curse of Fenric.
I haven't seen that.
No, you haven't. The one that you've seen, the one that you have seen is number 28, which is Spearhead from Space.
Better is this better than Spearhead? That's tough.
No, all once you get to like the top, the like from it's kind of hard to rank. It's hard to rank 1 to 10, but also it's hard to rank even from 10 to like 35 because all those stories are great.
Yeah. They're stories where if you say this is your favorite, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that'll do it. Join
So
us next week for Time Flight.
we're going from one of the best Fifth Doctor stories to one of the worst.
Yeah.
One of the
Spoilers,
moments
the
of classic Doctor.
polls.
Yeah.
It's ranked 20 out of 20 all the way down.
One of those moments of classic Doctor Who and just Doctor Who in general, where you get one of the greatest episodes of Doctor Who next to one of the worst.
We will see. Maybe it's a hidden treasure. Maybe
Literally,
this will be the time monster for you.
we went from 24 to 237.
This
You can't get
Time
more of a
Flight,
gap than that.
yeah. I'm assuming you haven't seen it.
I have not.
Are you hyped?
I am not. It's gonna be a hard one for me to get through. I'm gonna have to like really. I'm gonna have to plan out to watch one or two a night. I
Yeah.
can't watch all four in a
Don't
day.
don't binge it, Cam. That will make you hate it even more. Give it a fair shake.
Yeah, maybe it's great. Maybe Anthony Ainley. I'm gonna be like, he's great in it.
It's the master.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna be like spoilers. I didn't know the master was in it.
No, I did.
Again, I was thinking
But
about that today, Ben. Just like you're gonna be, you're gonna have such a hard time when we get to the new series. you're gonna have to really get good at not looking at Thomas Wiki
Yeah.
because like it's so much arc driven and like especially like I mentioned before, but like early Matt Smith stuff, it's like it's all mystery boxes, and like you just look up the answer, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, that's the answer." It defeats the whole purpose of being like, "Who are they? And who is this? And what is that?" And
I think I know how one of the doctors dies, where it's like, because I've seen it might be Matt Smith. I've seen a picture of him like old, I think.
hmm, I cannot
I don't know
confirm
the
or deny.
context. Or maybe it was even a different guy. I literally don't remember.
Might be thinking about
Um,
Peter Capaldi because he is old. I was
this
joking.
this was
I'm
a
joking.
a
Ben,
different
Ben,
old.
I'm just fucking with you.
Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the future. Time Flight I know is not gonna be that too fun, but maybe it is. I don't know. I'm open mind.
Hmm.
Season 20, I'm looking ahead and getting excited for Five Doctors, Snake Dance, Modern Undead.
Yeah,
My
those are.
father's gonna be checking over my shoulder. He's gonna be so happy to see the break.
Yeah, I'm excited to get see him back. It's been a long time without no Brigadier, and I'm curious to see what a Kinda sequel is like. But this is
Yeah,
not the end of season 20 because I mean of 19 because we still got another episode to go before we
we
get too much
do
into our hopes of season 20.
indeed.
Join us next week again for Time Flight. Have a good night and remember like and subscribe podcast platforms around the globe. Blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah blah. Peace out.
Have a wonderful rest of your day.